No camera. Do I at least have freaky audio? Is there audio? No camera. Oh, hey, look, I've got freaking audio now. You know, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Yes, I make mistakes, big mistakes. Maybe it's my sugar intake, because at least we have freaking audio. For those of you that don't know what just happened, I was talking for maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes, looking at some of these chats, and it just went bad. This is where you say to yourself, what am I doing with my life? That I'm not hiring somebody to help. And yes, I do look like a lobster. Today I had a 21K race, and that's what my wife said. She came back. She didn't first congratulate me. She just said, damn, you look like a lobster there, Johnny. There's some other stuff that went on, but, you know, maybe I shouldn't be drinking so much of this stuff. Celsius. It's gives you headaches because it's got 500 milligrams of caffeine in it. And now I had some other big-ass jokes planned, but the time is past. The jokes are gone because third time's the freaking charm when it comes to setting this stuff up at 8 p.m. at night. Anyway, you guys want to talk about some moto? Let's talk about some freaking moto. Paris Supercross. Loved the track. Track was fast. Had a couple giant quads. Got in an argument with some family members, you know, because they were talking about tabletops to doubles. That's a triple. And I'm like, no, it's not. No. Do you see 4 landings? Well, I guess that's 3 landings because it's a tabletop. But there's 4 lips. 4 lips. No, I am not going to try to defend what they were saying. On that one, I am going to say I am right. And my ego is going to stand that a table to a double-double is a quad into a corner. Just going to say it. It's a quad. It's a quad because if you take out the tabletop, there's a double right there. Anyway. 450s. Let's talk about 450s first, then we'll talk a little bit about the 250s. Cooper Webb, fastest guy in practice, can put it down, but can't put it together for 8 laps or more because Kenny, Hunter, and Jett just rode away from him. Yes, do I think Webb looks a little heavy, where he had a little bit too much, no pun intended, Costco cookies? You can tell that I eat the crap out of these suckers because they're here. And if Coach Rob is listening, this is all I need for any marathon I sign up for because one cookie's about like 350 calories. And according to my coach, I need to consume 300 calories an hour. And he's going to shoot me for saying that because it's incredibly bad advice. You know, this is coming from somebody that can't figure out audio when it comes to this OBS and everything hooking up here. But we will not let me live that down, but we will move on. We will definitely move on. At least I will try to move on as I continue to talk about it. Webb. He's pretty much the fastest American we have over there, and he's running around in 4th, 5th place. It makes me wonder how Supercross is going to go. Yes, there is a night 2, which I'm super pumped for. There is a night 2 for the Paris Supercross. The track was hard packed. Saw a lot of guys just standing on the pegs. It was slippery. I don't know what kind of tire pressure they're running. I'm assuming it might be around 13 pounds or so. Those whoops were incredibly big. Like typically from an HD standpoint of production, when you look at stuff, things look small until you get up close to them. And those whoops did not look small whatsoever. And I do have to bring it out that Hunter, kudos to you, brother, by not tagging Tixie by just tattooing yourself to him through the whoops. You decided to do the honorable thing and tattoo yourself to 9 other people on the side of the whoops. If you see the highlight reels on Instagram or something, you can see it. I can't show it on YouTube here because it'll get copywritten, striked because MXGP. And yeah, maybe if I'm going to talk a little bit about MXGP, because we like to talk a lot about production, right? From Mav TV to Flow to World Supercross. I mean, there's always room for improvement, right? And there's just the one thing that I will, bear with me, this is the only negative thing I'm going to say. The only freaking one that I'm going to say, because I love Paris Supercross. Love what it means. Love the riders that are over there. Like the commentators. I even think Steve Mathis did a decent job. But here, okay, as a paying customer, you expect to have everything at your fingertips. If I'm going to spend $15 for one race, I would like everything to be there. Do you see this right here? Part 1. Part 3. No part 2. Absolutely no part 2. Everyone goes to YouTube to find this stuff, and then you have the paying stuff here that's not there. Very, very, very interesting. And then we'll talk a little bit about the rules here. I'm just a tad bit, I wouldn't say disturbed, but just bummed that that's there, because there's some really good racing here. I was able to watch it on YouTube before it got taken down. Anyway, moving on, Jett, man, the guy that seems like he is going to be the Supercross champion if Tomac can't get his stuff together, which we all know Tomac is fantastic about getting his shit together. He is able to just come out of nowhere and make it happen. I do find it very interesting that Tomac, you guys want to say hi to Sprocket? Here's Sprocket. He actually got his tail stuck in a sprocket and it's gone. It used to be like 9 feet long, but it's no longer long, and that's actually not what happened. Another dog caught him with his tail. But I like to tell people, since it's name was Sprocket, that Sprocket, it makes more sense, right? What is with the First Amendment if I can't even use it, right? Anyway, it's very interesting that Tomac is riding with Deegan at his house, and then you've got Cooper Webb that's not riding with them on the same team. He's going racing. He's trying to put himself in race shape. So we will find out who has a better off-season to get things going. And I didn't get in an argument with people at my house here because I got a full house with people for Thanksgiving, but we were talking about like Honda and why Honda shouldn't have let Kenny go, because look at what he's doing. And then I kind of started to play devil's advocate by going, no, I think Honda did the right thing. They got 2 individuals that they can mold and basically tell this is what we're doing, and lack of a better term, force them to go along with the programs, because Kenny didn't want to go along with the program. He was basically burnt out. He didn't want to race motocross, and look at what he's done by not racing more, but racing more, because he did the Red Bull Straight Rhythm. He's doing World Supercross. He's doing Paris Supercross. He's doing Motocross of Nations. He even did a little bit of motocross. He did Super Motocross. He's done a freaky lot of racing, and he's doing well, because we've all had in the back of our heads, like, Kenny, why can't he get his stuff together? Because we know how fast he is, but he goes out and he's winning the race. But then after 10 minutes, he gets massive arm pump. And then we go, it's because of what happened to him in Supercross when he was the king of the shit and broke both of his arms like Legos. And they had to put him back together. But now he's got Epstein-Barr, whatever. We could come up with all these excuses. But really, all Kenny needed was just being able to do his own thing, be an independent contractor. So therefore, maybe Honda should have shelled out more money and have told him, hey, do your thing. Just make sure, try not to get hurt, because we do want to win some championships, right? But now he's doing it on a kickstart. And my family, we started talking together about like how Jett and the Hunters were able to get better starts the majority of the time. Yeah, Kenny did get the whole shot on the last one. Difference between like a kickstart, like a 13-year-old technology, to stuff that's brand new, because traction control is going to be the thing. Traction control is effing going to be the thing, especially with electric bikes. That is going to be the new R&D, everything that's going to be the difference between privateers to factory guys. It's the ECU and it's the traction control. 1,000 freaking %. But what was also interesting is we saw Hunter. Hunter, it was his first day, at least in a race, on a 450, and he looks good. He's beating Kenny. Like, was this not more exciting than World Supercross? Maybe, Freezy wasn't there to take it out. We did see Ken not really cross jump, but he was blocking Jett. And he was doing it respectively. And there is interesting things there because Kenny has been on the receiving end of having Jett let him by, right? The first time in World Supercross or Super Motocross, there are a lot of close names about, hey, it's a gift, but then the math didn't add up, so it just kind of seemed, it had a negative connotation to it because it didn't mean anything. But here, let him by again. Through the whoops, Tixier went down, and they split him. And then, unfortunately, Jett's brother, Hunter, decided to tattoo himself to 9 spectators. But then Jett lets Ken back by. And that's not the rules. That's not the rules because this is the FIM, and a yellow flag waved means great danger. Prepare to stop. No overtaking. No overtaking. There we go. Answered it live right here. I all thought that, yeah, in Supercross, yellow flags mean just be cautious. But I guess in Paris Supercross, MXGP, World Supercross, a yellow flag being waved means no overtaking. A yellow flag held stationary means danger. Ride cautiously. Man, that seems like that is a fine line of details where you could accidentally just go up there and say, I saw the yellow flag, but I didn't see it being waved. So I'm going to blame the flag marshal for not waving it. Interesting. So I'm going to insert more cookies into my mouth and shut up because Jett did the right thing there. Kenny had no reason to be mad at Jett. I want to know what you guys think about that in the comments below. And if I'm talking about the 250 class, I really think Joe looks damn good on that Honda. Damn good. And I really was impressed with how he was riding in the last moto, coming from fairly the back mark, because he was able to stay within his means. And yeah, he moved up and he was able to finish third, which is awesome, and still get the overall. And he all knew that. Like, Joe's a very methodical guy. He might not be the most interesting off the bike, but it's going to pay tenfold for him the way he rides, where he doesn't just shoot first and tries to, unfortunately, do the Stewart thing, where if you're not winning, you're going to die spectacularly, right? But that also made some very good highlight reels on stuff. And I do think that Joe was riding so exceptionally well because of his whoop speed, and he was doing the 450 line as far as the triple quad. Yes, the tabletop to the double. It is a quad. It is a quad. I should honestly probably start a poll about the quad because, you know, a lot of people don't believe it is a quad. Oh, last on the 250, Tom Vial. What a confidence builder to be able to be up front. Yeah, like he had his inaugural season in Supercross. He was struggling with whoops. Even here, he looked like he was kind of struggling a little bit with whoops, but the speed wasn't far off. Like, that's the only thing that I feel that Prado and these MXGP phenoms are going to struggle with is whoops. Supercross is something that can be taught because you've got this innate ability to absorb the information, especially with people that you're riding near. You can take what they're doing and you can implement it and do it yourself. But whoops are something that are just so incredibly scary. It's hard to teach and see what somebody's doing and then go do it yourself, right? Whoops are just that crazy thing. Anybody that you know at a local track or whatever that blitz whoops, it's because they're effing crazy. They're just effing crazy. I'm pretty convinced that they do it with their eyes closed. I mean, of course, they don't. There's an old video of Chad Reed, if you guys remember him going through with the smoke, and that just blew my mind because literally he couldn't see anything, but he was still able to blitz the whoops. And now there's a new video going on. Is it at Club M? It's at some practice track, might be at Florida, Sandbox, something, where you got Kevin Windham that's doing it in tennis shoes, that he's doing a dragging back, then doing whoops. Like, you don't forget it when you are able to do it, and you've done it thousands and thousands of times. My point is that these MXGP guys don't get that same deal. It's got to be learned, and the only way to learn it is by going through them so many times. Like, confidence is the way to go. Like, I remember when I was doing arena cross and stuff, like, you love a full, brand new set of whoops because there's no cuts in them. Because there's something to be said for when you look down and you see 9 or 12 of them, and there's that third one that's just super sharp, that's got just a big old choppy cut in it, and you're like, nope, I'm not going to be, the lack of a better term, a poon, and I'm going to not let off. No, you're like, da-da-da, and then you go, oh, crap, nope, that lip is a little bit too big. It's a little too erect. I cannot do this, and you let off. What happens? Ass end kicks, you end up dying, right? There's just some people that have it and some people that don't have it, but it can be learned. So for that, I'm really impressed with Tom Viall, not to mention for him to go out and get ahead of those guys and win. That is going to build confidence for him, right? Where it's going to do the exact opposite, or I believe the 180 effect for Cooper Webb. Like I'm going through puberty there for a second. Again, must be the cookies, or that the reason why I didn't have any sound at the beginning of this. So I do appreciate everybody that has been back for the live stream after the third freaking time. And I want to blame somebody, but I really can't blame anybody but myself. But I appreciate you guys for letting me know that there was no sound, because I could have kept talking for a long, long time. However, my whole point is Cooper Webb finishing 5th place and Supercross pushing him around. Like, that's not going to help with his confidence. And this is arguably the most confident rider on the series. So that is interesting. But hey, I have blabbed on, and let me know in the comments below. Till next time. Oh, make sure you subscribe. And hey, I might do this tomorrow night. We will see. My point is, I have got a lot of stuff written out and planned for this week's show for diagnosing and analyzing the techniques of these riders. So make sure that you stick around for that. And for everyone, hey, if I don't get to talk to you live, because I'm not going to have a live show for the podcast this week, because we should all just take a break and be thankful for what we have, right? Because there is that saying that what is the saying? Now that I'm on the spot here, if you look back and the things that you currently wished for, no, that's not even it either. You know what? I need to go back and read one of the books, because I freaking forgot everything, right? But it was something along the lines that if you look back in time, you only wished you had something. Jesus, guys, I need to go to bed. I don't know if it was something about the 15 miles I ran earlier this morning, but it's not coming out good. So anyway, appreciate all of you guys. Very embarrassing moment. Till next time, keep it WFO. Bra da 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 da.